So very good morning to all student members who are gathered here. Today we are in the next module number 4 in Principle of Management. So we are going to discuss about another management function, say decision making. So this comes under planning. So decision making comes through planning and forecasting. So here we are going to see what are the various steps involved in decision making process under management level. Now we will directly proceed to the following consecutive information in a sequential flow. Here are some of the learning objectives that are presented in before you. So after going through this chapter, decision making in Principle of Management system, every individual will come to know how to process various activities through proper decision making in the workplace. Explain the different styles of decision making and appreciating the individual differences in decision making skills. Then, what are the guidelines to be proposed for effective decision making in management? So, these are the learning objectives we are going to see in the next couple of information. So, first of all, before moving to the problem statement, let us few examples in real life scenario. So most of the individuals are in a are put under different alternatives. So it's your prime responsibility to select any one particular alternative. For that, we require a decision making attribute. Say in this slide, they have given different variety of mobile. So which one you decide to buy depending on the cost, aesthetic appeal, as well as other key features present inside the mobile. So based on which we will come to a clear cut conclusion. So and then you will decide to buy the product in the final stage. So even for a shopping, for buying a product, so you have to think many number of times to decide a particular course of action. Here another example. Suppose today you are going to college or any function. So what type of dress material you have to wear? If it is an official related job, what type of dress, the suit you are supposed to wear? So there also you have to do lot of decision making analysis in order to find out a final solution for the problem. Now with this few example, we will conclude the problem meaning or a statement. Decision making is nothing but a human cognitive process. So that lead to the selection of particular course of action based on the several available alternatives. Every decision making process will have a final choice that can be either an action or an opinion. Say for example, going for a shopping, deciding what to eat. Okay, likewise there are n number of examples are there. So decision making is considered to be the one of the most important key process in management system. It is the subset of planning. So what are the main aspects in decision making? First one, starting from identification of the problem, how to identify various criteria to propose the decision, allocating various weightages to each criteria, develop the alternatives, then evaluate and analyze the alternative, select the suitable alternative for further implementation, then go for final evaluation whether this chosen alternative is considered to be more feasible or not. If it is not a suitable alternative, then you have to fix what next you have to do. Here they have given another example. Say for an example, a manager has resigned and we need another manager. So here the phrase a manager has resigned that reflects the current state while we require another manager represents the desired state. See, once a person resigns from the job, we have to decide to take another person for the same position. So there also in staff hiring process also, we require a thorough decision making ability to find out the right person for the right position. So decision making is nothing but finding the difference between the current existing state and the desired state. So developing various alternative for a problem. How? So it involves define the possible alternative. So if you want to decide one particular thing, first thing explore the number of choices or alternative for the particular problem. Say for example, you are going to choose a supplier for buying a raw material or machine for your company based on the least cost quoted by the specific supplier. So you will be moving to that particular individual to buy the company requirements as expected by the management team. So among all several alternatives, we need to analyze and try to select the best fitting alternative according to our organization resources. And selecting the alternative, choosing the best alternative among many. So for choosing the alternative, you have to do the rating and analysis, which one is considered to be more viable. Based on that, we need to select the best one. And finally, the chosen alternative should be implemented in limelight by putting the decision into action. So this involves a clear communication to all concerned individual and also commitment from various people working in different domain in the workplace organization. Next, evaluating the alternative. So this forms an integral part of every organization. So evaluation involves merely outcome-based result, depending on the objective as fixed by the organization. The evaluation of alternative through proper decision making that mainly assess the effectiveness and efficiency depending on the outcome or end result that we attain out of the entire process. So what are the various 6 C's of decision making? So construct, compile, collect, comparison, consider, and commitment. So these are the 6 C's of decision making. The construct means first we need to design the alternative. What are all the various choices available? The next we need to compile, make the list of requirements that should be suitable to meet out. Then collect the information about each and every alternative. Then compare the relative importance of each alternative which suits the company's requirement. Then consider if anything goes wrong, we have to consider those particular critical factor. Then finally commit to your decision and keep a continuous follow through within it. So these are the various uh, modules in decision making. Now, what is the difference between problem analysis and decision making? Are they same or different? It is important to differentiate between the two terms, problem analysis and decision making. The concepts are completely separate from one another. Problem analysis is the earlier one that has to be done first. Based on the information gathered in the analysis phase that must be used towards the decision making attribute to select particular choice for the future course of implementation. So what are the important things to be considered for a decision making within a management setup? Objectives first must be established. Oh, so sorry for the inconvenience. We will resume back to the actual discussion. So what are all the following aspects to be considered, the following main points to be considered for a decision making? So first thing, our objective must be clearly established. Next thing, classify the objective according to the job order of importance. Then list out the alternative action to be developed. The alternative should that we are selecting that must be able to achieve according to the company's goal. So the tentative decision is evaluated for more possible values, and then if it is holds good, we have to keep that as a final one for implementation. So what are the stages in the decision making? First one is orientation stage. So under this phase, the members meet for the first time and start to get to know each other. The next one is conflict stage. Once group members become familiar with each other, so they will try to work it out for the betterment of the organization, whatever the problem challenges they are facing in the day-to-day work environment. Then emergent stage, the group begins to clear up the unclear opinions by talking about them. Then reinforcement stage, members finally make a decision while justifying themselves that was the right solution for the problem. So these are the four different stages in group decision making. So the sequential flow process adapted for the decision making. in any organization, common to any organization. This is the standard, the flowchart which is followed everywhere. So first thing, we have to classify the problem and define the problem for a better opportunity. Set the company goal and what are the various criteria that is expected. Generate more creative and innovative alternative to suit out the objectives of and other criteria. Analyze the alternative with respect to economic constraint and also resource constraint of the company. Then plan and implement the decision. And finally, control the decision whether our desired idea is correct or not. So that we have to do by controlling process. What are the different styles of decision making? So reflexive style. So quick decision without taking time to get to know all the information without considering the alternatives. This is called reflexive style of decision making. Sudden response without knowing about the problem scenario and other available alternative or choices. Next one is reflective style of decision making. Taking more number of time to propose a final decision about a particular problem, collecting as many number of data or information, then analyzing several choices. So this is considered to be reflective style. Reliable style, habit of what to make decision without neither rushing or wasting the time. So exactly what you are going to decide, what you are going to uh, create a big impact to the organization without wasting the time or rushing. So this is the most important thing required. The third one, the reliable style of decision making. So what are the various steps carried out in decision making process and how we can able to convey it in a more effective way? The initial stage, try to outline your goal and outcome of the problem or a process which you are going to carry out. Even that can be your project uh, supposed to do along with the team member. So outline the project goal as well as the outcome of the project. This will enable the decision maker to see exactly what they are trying to accomplish and keep them on a specific path. Second step, gathering the data relevant to the problem, and this will help the decision maker to have actual fact or evidence in order to come up with a right solution. The third step, brainstorm to develop the alternatives, coming up with more than one solution that enables you to see which one you can work it out possibly. The fourth step is list out the pros and cons of each alternative and try to eliminate the solution that have more. Try to eliminate the solution which has more disadvantage as well as advantage that makes our decision more easier. And fifth step is make the decision finally. Once you analyze each solution, you should pick the one that has many advantage relevant to the organization development. Sixth step is immediately take the further action. Once the decision is picked, you should implement it in the right way. Then the seventh step, learn from past experience and reflect according to the decision making. So this steps allows you to see what you are doing is right or wrong. So these are the 7 different stages in decision making process. So the next phase of decision making, so is SWOT analysis. So before going to undergo any kind of activities, so you have to go for SWOT analysis test, identifying the organization's strength and weakness, opportunities, and external threat. This is another important main area in decision making skills. So what are the strength and weakness? So select the attribute that support the strength of the organization, as well as list out the attributes which highlights the weakness for not achieving the objectives of the organization. What are all the opportunities for further development to achieve the company's objective? Then find out the external condition which is very much harmful or highly competitive to achieve our objective. So in 360-degree aspects, we have to analyze the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats until we get a clear objective. So this is done through SWOT analysis. The group decision making has got the following main factors. So involving in sensitive issues, okay, high cost alternatives involving very high risk factor and strategic impact. So these are the main thing to be considered under group decision making skills. So while deciding any alternative to be chosen, very sensitively and carefully you have to discuss those issues in selecting the alternative. Then take enough risk enough to eliminate the wrong alternative by selecting the right one, and try to be more strong by strategic point of view, that is fixing the direction and proper planning in selecting the right alternative according to the goal fixed by the company. So these are the main things to be considered in group decision making. Another thing is, what are the main advantage of the group decision making? First thing, what we decide that has to be accepted by all our team members. So this comes through understanding and coordination and better communication, and also our knowledge and experience and others' opinion and perspective. So what are the advantages of group decision making? We can spend a lot of time by taking longer time to decide a particular course of action, and we can conduct an open forum for every team member in order to share the opinion. How to improve the decision making? Through brainstorming, various nominal group techniques, and through online virtual meeting. These are the ways to improve the group decision making. What are the various barriers uh, to control for an effective decision making? Make a quick decision without having much thought. Decision making is based on very limited information. Our thoughts in making decisions are disconnected or disorganized, the scattered thought, uncertainty decision, lack of clarity on important aspects. These are some of the barriers that lead to reduce the effective decision making by the individual. So with this information, I thank all the members. We will meet in the next module number 5 in Principles of Management. Thank you once again.